welcome back. So I was just down there checking the compost, which is a pile I've been creating for about 2 weeks. It's got kitchen scraps, 2 lots of grass cuttings in it actually, because even though we've had all this cold weather and a bit wet as well, I've actually managed to get out and cut the grass a couple of times. Just happened to have been at home when it's been a windy, dry day that has dried it out, and I've been able to get out there and do the cut. There's wood chip in there, there's lots of cardboard and paper, there's the stalks off the sprouts, etc. from last year. So I'm really impressed that in this weather, as cool as it is, we're getting up to 50 degrees. And that's really good, so I'm pleased with that. Anyway, today's video is all about getting some seeds sown. It's February now, so I'm going to sow some more seeds. But before we do that, I'm going to show you the seedlings that I've got growing already and how they're getting on. Okay, so we'll start over at this end. These are broccoli seedlings. Now these are part of an experiment that I'm doing on the Yang gel propagators, LED propagators, or Yangel, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but that's what those are. They were sown about 2 weeks ago. These are parsnips that were sown on the 8th of January, and the first one is just starting to emerge. Now early in the year I sow them in these biodegradable cardboard pots and then plant the whole thing. I much prefer to sow them directly into the soil, but I don't have a bed prepared at the moment, and this is a way of getting them going indoors early on and then just plant the whole thing. But you do have to be pretty quick getting them in the ground, otherwise the taproot can curl up in the bottom and then you don't get particularly good parsnip. Over here we've got spring onions, and they're now starting to come up. These are multi-sown. There's about 5 or 6 in a module. Here we've got kale and spinach. I only had a 50% germination on the kale by the looks of it, but I think perhaps they're old seeds. And I do still have some kale in the garden that survived all of the cold weather we've had, so I'm not too worried about that. Here we've got, so these are mixed salad leaves, and these are iceberg, and they're getting to the point now where they really need pricking out and potting on, but that's going to be another video. Here we've got Ailsa Craig onions sown on the 8th of January, and they're coming on nicely. Here we've got Red Baron. They were sown on the 15th. Put a whole packet in there. There should be about 150 seedlings eventually. And then here we've got celery. Nothing is showing. They were only sown on the 20th, so a bit of time to go there. I do have peppers and chilies, but they're in another room where we have the fire, in a hope to increase the germination temperature. Right, let's crack on and sow some more seeds. Plant them in between all my veg and what have you. Helps with the wildlife, helps with the bees, and it just brightens the place up a bit. Adds a little bit of colour. So that's 3 of those, and we'll do 3 of those. Now I've got broccoli growing, as I showed you, but I think what I'm also going to sow now is some of the other brassicas. So I think I'm going to do cauliflower, cabbage, and sprouts. Not many, because I will sow more again next month. And the problem at this time of year is it's like we're all itching to get stuff sown. The problem with that is you can sow lots of stuff, run out of space, but also the stuff that you sow in March or May or April, sorry, will probably catch up the stuff that you sowed in February. And you can end up in a situation where you're actually no better off sowing early. So I'm going to sow small amounts just to get things going. And the other thing, by sowing later in the year again, it gives you a bit of backup. You know, if the stuff that you've sowed now fails for whatever reason, you know, frost damage or whatever, then at least you've got a backup. Excuse me. Right, seeds. So I need to put these back in order actually. We'll get some labels and a pen. So, marigolds from Wilco's. Let's go through. Let's sow some beetroot actually. Not many. Cabbage. I'll put some celeriac, get some of that going. Leeks, yes, we need to sow leeks. Mustard, onion, okay, onion. Sprouts. I think that will do. Oh, hold on. Shall we? No, we'll save the rest for another day. So let's start with the sprouts. And I'm not going to sow many, like I said, because I will be sowing more. And I'm just going to try and do a row there. There's hardly any left in that, so we'll put those in. Then we will put the cabbage on this side of the tray. Now with brassica seedlings, or seeds, you need to be careful because they all look pretty much identical and it's very easy to get them confused. And even young plants can look very similar. You know, your broccoli can look very similar to your sprouts, for example. And you can very quickly put things in the wrong place when you plant things out. So for these propagators I need the shorter labels. So cabbage, Savoy, and it's the 2nd of February. We put that one in there, and then sprouts, Dolores, F1, and 2nd of the 2nd, 23. I'm just going to put a sprinkling of compost over the top. Give them a water because this is actually quite dry, this compost. It's been left out. So, and all I've got here is it's just a pop bottle, and I've just drilled some tiny holes in the cap. Nothing special about that at all, and you can just dribble it on. There we go. They will get a propagator lid put on them. So next, I'm going to sow some more Elsa Craig, because we love onions in our house. Every time we cook, we use an onion. So I haven't got that many in here, so try and spread them out roughly equally. And what this is doing is giving me another sowing a month-ish after I did the last sowing. It's giving me a bit of backup should the others fail for whatever reason. Unlikely with onions, but onions is one of them things I can normally grow. Okay. I struggle with a lot of other things, but onions I'm normally alright with. So that's that. Elsa Craig. Second, 23. And give them a water. Now the onions I showed you earlier that are already up and growing, another couple of weeks probably, and they will get potted onto module trays and put out in the garden, or in the greenhouse, sorry, an unheated greenhouse. Okay, leeks. My leeks last year were shocking. They just really didn't do a lot. So we'll try again. And again, similar to the brassica seeds, your leek seeds and your onion seeds are going to look very, very, very similar, if not identical. So just make sure you label things up. So these will get multi-sown in there. And I'll sow some more next month. And then when they're up and doing okay, they will get potted on into module trays. And these are mussel burr. '23. A little bit of compost on the top. And water. There we go. Alright, celeriac. I think the celeriac I'm going to plant in individual modules. Not massively deep. 8-10 millimeters. Celeriac's not something that we've done a lot of in the past, so it's kind of new. does. I think celeriac seeds, celery seeds, I'm probably putting 2 or 3 in each of these, but they're some of the smallest seeds that there is. Carrot seeds, they're just, your chances of sowing 1 in each module are almost nil. So there we go. Now I'm not going to add any more compost to this. I'm going to push the compost over that is in the module to try and stop me from planting these too deep. As I've said before, as a rule of thumb, the smaller the seed, the shallower the planting depth. So celeriac, monarch, second, 23. Okay, need a tray for that to go in. Leeks are done. With your water, I've left this bottle out for a few hours just to warm up. It's tap water, but you want it kind of the same temperature as your compost if you can, so that you don't set the seeds back in any way. Now, I've done that wrong, haven't I? Oh, beetroot. So we'll sow some, I'm going to multi-sow the beetroot. I'm going to make some little holes. I'm going to aim to get three or 4 in a module. And then they'll just get planted out, and as they grow, I'll just push each other apart. So 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Some might end up with 2, some might end up with 4. It's not really a massive problem. We don't eat a lot of beetroot, so it's just nice to have it there should we want some. I think with us, we like beetroot, but we like pickled beetroot, and it's just the storage and preserving of foods is something that we are going to have to get much better at to realise our ambition of self-sufficiency. So beetroot, I don't think I even know the variety of that, so there we go. They need to go in a tray. I've got a tray. There's a tray. In fact, I need that tray, so they might have to stay like that for now. I need to fill this up for my marigolds. actually need another tray. So I'm going to pinch this one from the celeriac. The reason I need two for the marigolds is, if you've been watching the experiment that I've been doing with the Yangle LED propagator, you might have seen the last video where the results were a bit inconclusive. But that was really, I think, because of the way I set up the experiment. So I'm going to do it again, but I will do it this time with the marigolds. I'm going to have to make up a bit more of this mix, I think. Yeah. It's amazing the difference in shop bought composts. The one that I've used last week was quite woody. This one's quite fibrous. There we go. Super. Right. So I'm going to do two trays of marigolds. One will go under the, when they germinate, one will go under the LED lights and one won't, because I'm trying to get to grips with how good these lights are. So you don't get many in a packet there. Right. Might do 2 packets then. I don't know. One. I suppose I'm going to have to, what have we got there? So that's Orange Boy. We'll do Petit Mix in the other tray. I'll get a few more in this packet. There we are. So Orange Boy, so a marigold, 2nd of the 2nd, 23. Orange Boy. Marigold, 2nd of the 2nd, 23. And these are Petit Mix. Empty. Bit of compost on the top. Give them a water. What am I doing? Don't need to take that top off. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Just getting a few more seeds sown. Now it's February. The signs of spring out there now. There's some bulbs coming up, daffodils, etc. in the garden. Just hope we can try and keep a bit of above freezing if possible, but of course we're probably going to get some more frost, maybe some snow. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, the bell icon, hit the notifications so you don't miss any more updates, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.